Hey everybody, welcome on my channel Polyglot Me. My name is Vince, your favorite polyglot, and today's topic is Spanish. To speak about Spanish, we are gonna use the iceberg method. So we are gonna start with very well-known facts, and then slowly we are gonna dive in the abyss, speaking about unknown and interesting facts. So let's start with the first level. Vamos! Spanish language has something like 400 million of native speakers spread between Spain, Latin America, and Equatorial Guinea. But Spanish has also something like 100 million of speakers who have Spanish as second language. This is making Spanish one of the most spoken languages in the world. And even though there are several regional accents or several specific words that we'll see later on, all the Spanish speakers can understand each other without issues. Spanish language is a Romance language. Along French, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian, it developed from Vulgar Latin, in the specific Spanish developed by the Vulgar Latin spoken in the Iberian Peninsula. Let's go ahead with the second level. I'm pretty sure you are aware that Spanish is written using the Latin alphabet, but you might not know that in Spanish there is an extra letter used just in this language, that is this N that you can see up to me. And this N is pronounced like ña in Spanish, and this kind of accent on the N, it's called the virgulilla in Spanish, that means small comma. We can find this letter in several Spanish words, like niño, that means kid, or like España, that means Spain. Slowly, this letter with this symbol, so the ña, became the symbol, one of the symbols actually, of the Spanish language. The Spanish language contains several words from the Arabic, exactly. If you speak Spanish, it means that you speak also a bit of Arabic. This is happening because Arabs ruled for over 800 years in the south of Spain, in one that was called the Al-Andalus, and as legacy, they left several words in the Spanish language. As some example, we can see the word that in Spanish means hopefully, that is ojalá, in Arabic is
Inshallah.
while the word sugar, that in Spanish is azúcar, in Arabic is
Azúcaro.
so basically these are just examples to let you understand how are similar some words in Spanish and Arabic, but of course there are several other words that the Arabic language borrowed to the Spanish language. Let's proceed with the third level. Castellano versus Spanish. So basically, what is the Castellano? This is a difference that they are making mainly in Spain, since Spain before had several languages that might be the Castellano, that is the current Spanish, but also the Catalano and also the Basque. So basically, what does it mean? This is meaning that the standard Spanish, the one that you will learn if you will have a Spanish class, it's the Castellano that is spoken basically in the whole Spain and also in Latin America and Equatorial Guinea with different accents and some different words. But also there are other languages spoken in Spain called Catalano or Basque or even more of this. So basically, who is from Spain and is speaking the standard Spanish is saying that he's speaking Castellano to make a difference between the Castellano and these other languages already mentioned and are still alive in Spain. While if you go in Latin America, Spanish speaker will just say that they speak Spanish since there is not this difference to do. Something very important to do, guys, is not to go in Spain, in Barcelona as an example, and say that Catalano is a dialect of Spanish, because this is not true and I might be upset. If you're an English speaker learning Spanish, be careful because you might have some false friends in Spanish. What does it mean false friends? It means some words that looks alike in two different languages, but they are having actually a different meaning. As some example, we can say that the word embarazada in Spanish means pregnant and not embarrassed. or the word actual in Spanish means current, so of now, right now, and not actually, as you might think as English speakers. Those are just examples to make you understand that Spanish is not a very difficult language to learn, even for an English speaker, and you will find out that there are several similar words, but always go and check out because you might have some false friends. We are finally reaching the fourth and last level. 1713, under the reign of Philip V in Spain, has been created the Royal Spanish Academy. The Royal Spanish Academy has been created in order to fix, shape, and give splendor to the Spanish language. This academy is still existing and is still publishing grammar books and vocabularies of the Spanish language, of course. The most interesting thing about this academy is that to create these vocabularies and to create these grammar books is nowadays cooperating with over 23 other academies spread all over the world, in Latin America and in Equatorial Guinea. What does it mean this? This means that the standard Spanish nowadays is not just decided in Madrid, but it's decided between all the Spanish-speaking world. The word tortilla, maybe it's one of the most famous words in the Spanish language, but you might not know that tortilla has actually two meanings according to the country or the region where you are mentioning this word. You probably know that the tortilla is the round flat bread used to wrap burritos or to make quesadillas, but this is true just in Mexico or in general in the Latin America. If you go in Spain and you will ask for a tortilla, you will get a delicious omelette made by eggs, of course, potatoes and onions. So according to the country where you will go, you will have a different kind of tortilla. It's interesting to remark that Spanish language is the first European language that reached the Southeast Asia. The Spanish explorer Miguel Lopez de Legazpi in the 16th century reached Philippines and introduced Spanish in this country. For over 300 years, Spanish has been the official language of Philippines, so has been the language of education, the language of the government, and the language of the official communication. And even though right now the Tagalog is the official language of Philippines, Spanish is also spoken in this country from a minority, and also the Tagalog itself is heavily contaminated by the Spanish language. Spanish language is one of the languages that gave more to the Esperanto language. But what is the Esperanto language? The Esperanto language is an artificial language that has been created in the late 18th by the linguist Zamenhof. This language has been created in order to be spoken by all the speakers of the world as lingua franca. And going back to the Spanish gave a lot to this language. To make a couple of examples, we have the word amigo, that in English means friend. In Spanish is amigo. Or in Esperanto, we have the word floro, that in English means flower, and in Spanish is flor. So as we can see, those are just a couple of examples to make you understand how Spanish contributed to the creation of the Esperanto language. And actually, Spanish speakers declare that they are able to understand and they're able to read the Esperanto language without issues and without prior contacts with this language. So we reached the end of this video as well. Thank you very much for your attention. If you wanna support me in this small project I'm starting, you can just like the video, subscribe the channel, and if you wanna follow me in my Portuguese challenge, you will find down below the link of my Kik account, and you will find also my Kik account here somewhere in the video. So thank you very much again for your attention, and ciao!